I know that these humans are the real animals. I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow their house down.
Man, y'all know how I am, man. Y'all just check this. This is a compilation of 3 videos. I really want you to see. Look, I was actually gonna I found a way that I can do a video and like green screen. No, man, I want you to see this, all right, for yourself, without my face all up in the video, you know, like P. Diddy, all up in the video, you know. Anyway, check it.
The view of Palestinians is simple. Well, the Europeans treated the Jews badly, culminating in the Holocaust, and they gave them our land as compensation. Of course, we say it's our land. The Torah says it. But they don't believe in the Torah. So, that's the reason there is not peace. They invent other reasons, but they do not believe in a Jewish state. And that is why we in America must stand strong with Israel through thick and thin. We must, because that is the reason, not any of these other false shibboleths, why there is not peace in the Middle East. Too many people don't understand that here in America.
The entire opioid epidemic in America was all due to one Zionist Jewish family, the Sackler family. They're responsible for the deaths of 500,000 Americans, and the severe addiction of between 3 to 6 million Americans, which had their lives ruined, pushed away from their families, living on the streets, and many even ending up in jail. Unlike the Sackler family, which in the end would not serve any jail time at all. In the mid-90s, the Sackler family produced a pill called Oxycontin, which could not get FDA approved because it was so strong and addictive that it was actually considered stronger than street level H. The Sackler family had to bribe the FDA into pushing it through, which there's blame on the FDA for that because they're supposed to protect us from this sort of stuff. And for the next 24 years, while receiving data that this pill was addictive and killing people, the Sackler family was still pushing pharmacists to prescribe it to their patients and pushing it out there to all everyday Americans to get addicted so that they can make insane amounts of money, billions of dollars. And the money that they gained destroying society and causing all this addiction, they used that money to put their names all inside museums, colleges, even hospitals. They even used that money to fund anti-Muslim groups, and even funded big politicians, Republican and Democrat, like Bush and Obama, and helped to fund fellow Zionist Jewish politicians like Chuck Schumer and keep them into office. They used money off our destruction to promote themselves and keep their people in power. And how does the story end? We don't know how much money they profited off of this, but we know it was at least over $10 billion from how much they siphoned off their own pharma business. They received no jail time whatsoever. Their addict victims ended up doing more time than them, and they had to pay a $7 billion fine, which they still made a huge profit. They got away with this because they're a bunch of Zios, our court system's run by a bunch of Zios, and our media protects them, and they're a bunch of Zios too. They're all together, and they're all part of the same system that uses us and destroys us and profits in the process. And they don't care about us. They only care about themselves.
These people honestly believe that they are the descendants of gods, that they are the chosen, that they are God's special people, that we are delusional, and that the true Creator is this wisdom principle that they think of as Lucifer, that wisdom principle gave us ancient mystery school teachings, and that the enemy, which they call Adonai, the adversary, which we would call the Christian God, came to try to defeat them. Then they even take it a step further and they look at texts like the Bible and they say that where it says in the end times that God will take the money from the wicked and restore it to the just, that we as a planet are the wicked and they are the just. So this is how they justify their financial corruption. They don't believe that we deserve the money. In fact, they believe that if they did not dominate us and if they did not control us and play all these games, that we left to our own devices would destroy our planet. So in some twisted rationale, they believe they are saving the earth. They believe humans are bad for the environment. We cause pollution, so they have to reduce population. Then they seed that into movies like The Matrix, where Agent Smith says that that humans are like a virus on the planet. This is one of a variety of ways in which they will usually embed their teachings into the villain.
I don't understand why you have to pay to live on a planet you were born on. And then, I mean, it's such a simple question, and it's haunted me ever since. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Ask yourself that question. Why do we have to pay to live on a planet we were born on? And who are we actually paying for the privilege of being alive here? Who made them the boss? Who put them in charge? You know? Think about that. We're looking at a war over water, when instead of feeding the military-industrial complex, we could be building desalination plants all over the world so everybody could have water, so they could grow crops. But are we doing it? Hell no. Why would we want to do that? Why would we want to empower people to grow food and take care of themselves? Then we can't control them. This is what I'm talking about.
I want y'all to be responsibly respectful. Leave your comments in the comment section. And if need be, watch it again. I mean, I really want you to pay attention, okay? It's hot.